Hey, what's going on, G-Ballers? Today I have a new knife here to share with you coming in from TacRay Knives. Now, if this is your first time stopping in, welcome to G-Ball Vision. Let me know down in the comments what your carry is for the day. The TacRay Tyran here comes in this nice hard case, and we have a lot to get into with this knife, and if it's as good as I hope it is, we are in for a real treat with this knife here. First of all, these are available right now. They are linked down below in the description and in the pinned comment. We are going to be looking at a price tag of $159, so just under $160, and I think the return we're going to get out of this knife, I think we're going to get our money's worth if everything pans out the way I think it is. Now, I got to read a couple blurbs on their website, and there's a lot of cool features to this knife here. We'll start with the handle here. Going to be a titanium handle with a bunch of different milling. We do have a PVD coating. We're looking at a titanium pocket clip. Almost looks like it's integrated into the handle there. And it appears to be that you can switch it around for left-hand carry. If I'm wrong about that, I will make a note. We do have a lanyard hole there for some lanyard fans, the few that are out there. And then we are looking at a standard button plunge lock. That button does have some nice texturing there on it. And then we are looking at dual thumb studs for the deployment. Now, this is where things really start to pick up here. We're going to be looking at a Harpoon drop point Tanto blade with a DLC finish coming in ZDP189. Rockwell hardness 64 to 66. They have a detailed blurb about what all went into doing this steel and how they did it. That it is a DLC finish, and there is ways to test that out, and we are going to do that in today's video. As far as the action is concerned, it has that great feel where before you push off on that stud, you get a nice deal of resistance. So it gives you a pretty satisfying opening action. As far as the closing action, that DLC is really going to help that blade close extra smooth. And then we have ball bearings in there around the pivot. So this thing is going to be glassy smooth. You can push right in on that button and there's not going to be any drag on it. Now, let's get a size check because that's been a big topic here, especially on this channel. We want to see some bigger knives, and at least this one is going to be coming in at 7 3/4. We got about 3 3/8 of cutting edge, or just shy of that, and we'll call it 3 3/8 of total blade as well. And for comparison's sake here, we have the Kaiser Drop Bear and the Benchmade Bug Out. This is going to be quite a bit bigger than both of those. Next up, we have the Vastid Raccoon up top here and the Kaiser Militao on the bottom. And you're going to see the Tyran here. It's competing in that length. It's just a touch longer than the Raccoon and a touch shorter than something like the Militao. Now we'll go ahead and roll in a hardware check here. We have a non-tooled pivot. It's a pretty clean looking knife. We don't have a ton of hardware everywhere. As far as this single body screw here on the show side, that is going to be a T6. Our pivot is going to be a T8. And I believe this screw here will also be a T6. So we got two T6 and a single T8 for the pivot there as far as the hardware goes. We'll go ahead and we'll get our 50 ways baked in Iris Hank out here, and we'll take a look at this milled clip and see what it looks like in the pocket. This is going to carry extra and ultra deep for something like a milled titanium clip, because typically we'll see a little bit poking out of the pocket with a milled clip, but they have found some very nice ways about going and making a milled clip pretty deep carry. I mean, you'll see maybe the butt end of this knife where typically, just for an example, you'll have that much poking out of some. So, and I am a big fan of that, but there's also a time and place for a deep carry. I could go without the tack ray there on the pocket clip. I think just like a logo or something on the pivot would have been better, or a little logo on the clip, but not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things because the rest of the knife looks very clean. You just have the steel marking here, so not a huge deal. Now, we'll go ahead and we'll get the arch nemesis out and give this thing a weight check. And here on the channel, we like to guess the weight of the knives. And if you want to play along, I welcome that. Even if you already commented your EDC or commented something else, feel free to put another comment down there. I love when people play along. I'm going to give it a go here, and let's see if we can hone in on what this thing weighs. We don't have any internal milling, but the handles aren't really that thick either. I think they did a wonderful job. We'll give it another quick measurement here just so you can get a fresh look. And it's actually 7 3/4, very strong. You could even say venturing into 13/16. And yeah, we'll give it 3 3/8 of cutting edge and total blade. So I bet they kept this thing right there. I mean, 3, 4 maybe 3, 3. Yeah. Oh, they kept it nice and low. So 3.1, 3 to 3.1. Ratio people will be very happy about that. And we're looking at 86 grams for everyone else. So this is going to be a fairly lightweight knife, pretty lightweight. I would say 3 ounces. That's venturing into ultra lightweight. It might not be quite ultra lightweight, but 3 ounces, that's pretty light. Let's go ahead. We'll get a measurement on this handle. We're looking at 0.346. We are looking at 84 thousandths on the blade stock. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, man. This thing is coming down thin. Yeah. With that particular hold, we're looking at about 15, 16 thousandths. And that was a good hold on that blade there. Let's see how this cuts out of the box. And for that, we'll use our standard catalog paper here. And I can't remember if I went into it or not, but we kind of talked about it in a previous video because I think it was the Kaiser Zero has a blade very similar to this. And this is a very utility-driven blade shape, and it's also unique. It's not quite your traditional Japanese tanto or a traditional American tanto. It's a little different, but you have a lot of utility with that nice pokey low tip because you can do a lot of detail work very easily, climb right up on the tip. So for precision cuts, this thing is going to be an absolute machine. And then as far as just regular slicing cuts, no issue whatsoever going from that first edge to the second edge. I don't think we're going to have any trouble. And now is when we'll go ahead and talk about the ZDP189. We're looking at 64 to 66 on the HRC, which ZDP189 is heat treated to a higher spec than almost any other steel out there. And as far as ZDP is concerned, in tool steels, it is like top 5 best edge retention on all folding knives, and out of tool steels and stainless steels, it's like top 7, top 8 in its edge retention. So this is an extremely edge retentive steel, ZDP 189, and that's its shining star. It's pretty corrosion resistant. It's somewhere up there around something like Crewware. It's in that vicinity, right? It's not ultra corrosion resistant, but it's pretty decent. It's still a tool steel. It's not a stainless steel. Where it really lacks is going to be its toughness. It's not the best, right? But when you have these real high edge retentive steels like ZDP, in most cases, you're going to lose out on your toughness. So this blade, this knife, I think the way they did this with the real thin blade stock, a lighter weight knife, this is a perfect platform for something like ZDP189 because this is going to be your everyday cutter. This is going to be your slicer. This isn't your hard use work knife, right? This is just day-to-day cutting, slicing, and it's going to do that masterfully, and you're going to get a ton of edge life out of it. Now, going back to the ZDP 189, where it has its biggest issue is the corrosion, right? Well, when you add in the fact that this now has a DLC, at the time of recording this, the best coating I know of for blade steels, it's the toughest, it is the most resilient, it is the best coating you can get for a knife. So that really turns the tables and makes this a very comparable steel because you don't have to worry about the corrosion. You don't have to worry so much about, you're not going to still want to stick this in between, two pieces of plywood and try to, pry one of them out, and you got 16 penny nails in there. But what I'm getting at is, as far as the toughness of the actual blade and the corrosion resistance, it's going to be a lot better with the DLC. Like I said, it doesn't make the blade tougher in the sense of, giving it the ability to pry nails up with it. But it is going to give it added toughness and durability. Plus, it's going to make it extremely corrosion resistant. Now, I did want to bring out this Kaiser Zero, and I was just saying in this video, you don't see a ton of blades like this. Now, the Zero is a little bit more pronounced, but very similar blade shapes, and I'm a huge fan of this blade shape because it's a little different. It's not something we see all the time. And I love the little slight nod to a harpoon here. It just looks really good. You have this flat running in the top quarter that runs into a top swedge, and then they both end here on the very last quarter of the blade. It just looks really, really good. Big fan of ZDP 189. I've had several knives in it, and for what it was created for, which is doing a lot of cutting, it is a fantastic steel. So we're going to roll over into a little lock check here. We check centering. It's still on point. As I said at the beginning there, the action on this is superb. I don't know if it'll translate into the video, but you get this really nice pushback before you go to deploy it. A lot of resistance in there. That's a really good button plunge lock right there. Totally, it's a 180 from when we got our first dual thumb stud button plunge lock knives. Remember those? Some of you will. Very mushy and not the most satisfying thing to deploy. This has a fantastic deal of resistance when you go to kick that blade out of that handle. Very, very nice. Now, as far as the lockup goes, we're going to see how this holds up against the spine whacker here. And every knife gets tested. We'll go ahead, we'll start off light up towards the tip here, and that puts a lot of stress on these locks. We'll go ahead, start off that way, and we'll see what happens from there. Just a couple of light ones to get us going. We'll go to the middle. Very good. I wasn't sure. Little triple tap there. Yeah, very good. Very good. A little bit of button stick, but I kind of prefer a tiny hint of lock stick actually with my button locks. It just gives you a positive, it's not where like you got to squeeze it with two fingers. I'm easily able to push it in, but I get just a little click, which I really prefer that, to be 100% honest with you. I prefer that little hint of lock stick. It just lets me know, hey, you pushed in the button, it's time to disengage, right? Some people won't like that, but with these types of knives, it is very common to have a little bit of stick. The knife gets broken in and it eventually just works itself out. In very rare cases, I would say, it doesn't work itself out, and that's pretty rare, I would say. But you'll have to let me know what you think of the Tyran here. This, when I was reading up on it, I was pretty stoked to check this knife out. Is this something you could see adding to your daily or weekly rotation or your collection? I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions on this knife. Make sure you share this video and hit the thumbs up button. Both of those things tremendously help push the video out there to more people. And the more people that see the G-Ball Vision videos, man, it helps the knife and EDC world grow. It helps the channel grow. It's just good for everyone all around. If you are new to the channel and this is your first time here, let me know down in the comments so we can welcome you properly to the G-Ball Vision family. And if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, especially if you enjoy knife and EDC content. I release videos like this every single day, and I would love to have you here. I'm going to pop a couple of new videos up on your screen. Go check out the one you haven't seen yet. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.